I think the biggest threat to America right now in terms of breaking up our security and our alliances is Russia. Terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland. You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest threat facing America was? Global warming.
Wow. He said the Joint Chiefs of Staffs told him that. President Biden says Russia, white supremacy, and global warming are the biggest threat to the United States. Is this really accurate? And what are those actual threats? How do you categorize it? But better yet, how does retired four-star General Jack Keane categorize it? General, where do you stand? Do you think the president's right? White supremacy, global warming, and Russia are the three biggest challenges to America?
Well, he's got part of that right, but I think most of it wrong. And actually, it seems to disagree with many of the policy statements that his administration has been making since they assumed office. But, I mean, it seems quite obvious that the major threats the United States are facing is certainly with China, which is a rising superpower who is seeking regional and global domination at the expense of Western democracies and certainly this great democracy in America. We've got a re-emerging Russia who wants to develop their own sphere of influence, particularly among the former Soviet Union states in Eastern Europe and in Southern Europe. And that's why you see this aggressive military expansion, because he wants to stop any further alignment with NATO. And then also we've got a very aggressive and maligned Iran, not only seeking nuclear weapons, but seeking domination of the Middle East, using their proxies to achieve that end and having achieved some measure of success in doing that. And I also think we do have a major domestic security issue with our southern border. I mean, it's obvious what has taken place there. It is not secure, and that violates the sovereignty of the United States, and it is a national security issue. Those are the major threats I think we're facing.
So you imagine you could knocked over people that are concerned about security with a feather when the president made those remarks when landing in England. That caused that question to come up with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, who I know you respect, and he clarified yesterday. Listen.
Climate change is a threat, but the president is looking at it at a much broader angle than I am. I'm looking at it from a strictly military standpoint. And from a strictly military standpoint, I'm putting China and Russia up there.
Thank you. Meanwhile, we're starting to loosen up some of the sanctions on Iran because the 2015 deal, the talks don't have any momentum. Is that a good move? Have they done anything to deserve that except bring another battleship, another destroyer across the ocean filled with supplies for Venezuela?
Well, you know, this is what we've said ever since the Biden administration came in. We certainly applauded them for taking on major of the policy formulations of the Trump administration and their willingness to stand out and call out China and what appears to be their willingness to confront them. We'll see as we go down the road, and certainly dealing with Russia as well. But this whole thing on Iran, we said, has a potential for them to have a major strategic policy failure in the Middle East. And it has to do with the Biden administration negotiators and the national security team that they've established are very much the same people who were in the Obama administration and negotiated the nuclear deal. I think they got an untoward emotional and psychological bias for that nuclear deal, and they have blinders on, much like Secretary Kerry had on when he was making the deal originally in 2015. So here we're heading down a road where we're going to remove sanctions on Iran. We're going to give them a flood of money again. To do what? To buy more missiles, to buy more rockets, to strengthen the hand of the proxies throughout the region. And all of those rockets that we saw in missiles coming down on Israel for 11 days, they all originated from Iran. Either the rockets and missiles themselves or the parts for them or the technicians to help put them together. Iran is the destabilizer in the Middle East. Why we would ever give them another pile of cash in the billions of dollars to be able to increase their malign activity in the region is really a major policy failure. And certainly the 11 days with Hamas and Hezbollah and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad and what they were doing with Israel should have been a wake-up call saying, whoa, we have to stop these negotiations. We have to revisit this whole issue on how are we dealing with Iran strategically in the region, not just with preventing them from having a nuclear weapon.
Right, and I think a lot of Democrats understand that. They didn't sign on to this deal. They only got 40 senators signing on to the deal. That's why Barack Obama didn't make it a treaty. That's why Donald Trump could say, I'm out, because it had no popular support amongst his own party, too. That's what people don't realize. This wasn't Democrat-Republican. This was a renegade group of negotiators with a terrorist regime that thought they had the framework of a deal that was an embarrassment to this country, and our allies are holding on to it, and we're begging to get back into it. What an embarrassment. General, thanks so much.
Yeah, great talking to you, Brian. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, you too.